All right, folks, so we've got Kenny Glick here on the show. We're going to walk through what we've just discussed in the hour and 5 minute podcast that I've just recorded with Kenny, where we've heard his entire story, some fantastic nuggets of advice, all sorts of information you guys out there looking to trade stocks or anything for that matter can get benefit from. So, Kenny, you're going to walk us through the trade you spoke about at the very end of the show here with, I think it was Slack was the company, is that right?
Slack symbols WORK, work.
Cool. Go for it.
Well, I find that the best trades are, for me, are stocks that you're looking at on the right side of your chart. This thing has been a failed IPO. I mean, look at the downtrend on this thing. You haven't had a winning week since the IPO. We're talking about, I guess, maybe end of June, and you hit all-time lows yesterday. So we never know when the stock's going to go down, but when you got a stock that's been cut in half, we're kind of sniffing around. You know, we're looking at these things that maybe they'll find some love. And going back to obviously VWAP is when not only is it a great intraday tool, but sometimes it becomes a multi-day tool. And we have it. And what you're looking at right now on the right side of the charts, you know, you're looking at the multi-year VWAP. We would call it the lifetime VWAP at $30.27. Right now, really not coming back, really not in play right now unless this thing starts to really accelerate. So I'm gonna open up what we look at on a daily basis. So right now, you're looking at, again, the stock just yesterday broke an all-time low. And you see, I'll highlight it right there. This thing's cratering right from the beginning of the day. Still nobody buying it. The blue line is your 1 minute VWAP, the holy grail of trading.
Right.
That is where the money's going in. And right above it, you're looking at what we want to call the multi-day VWAP. So I'm going to give it you, right now you're looking at a 1 minute from yesterday and also the 2-day VWAP. So let's call it the 1 minute to the multi-day. So again, accepting the fact that we know nothing. At this point, at 1986, there's no reason to think that this thing's not going to 19, 18, 17, 15, 0. We have no idea. But then, out of nowhere, it makes this run back to the 1 minute VWAP. And it gets above it. So right in that moment, we're not doing the trade yet. We're saying, hey, maybe this thing's finally finding some buyers because it got back to the VWAP. That's the indication, right? So here's the moment of truth. It finally gets to the VWAP and then starts to roll back over. And you're thinking another failed attempt to rally on this piece of crap stock. It's probably going to roll over, but it doesn't roll over. That's the indicator. So what we do right there, that print now becomes our stop if this thing can now recapture the VWAP. And look what it does. Recaptures the VWAP. And then it struggles to stay above it, but it never breaks that point where it rolled over the first time. So now we're still thinking bullish, but we still don't buy the stock until we're back above the VWAP. And now this is the magic moment right there. Instead of it breaking back below the 1 minute, you're now gathering some more buyers. And let's fast forward. I'm going to condense this trade right now, and you're going to see, look at it. The buyers now have taken over because each time it's gone back to the VWAP, it's not breaking it. Oh, it's not really rallying too much, but what we start to call this moment is the sellers are getting exhausted. They're done selling this thing, okay? Yeah. So now what we have is the multi-day VWAP comes into play. Now your multi-day VWAP is right here at 20 and a half.
So hang on, is that your range that you're talking about, that below that they've just created the range and you're looking for the break? Okay,
this bottom is going to be our bottom range if the trade goes wrong. We're going to use the VWAP and that. Again, you want to scatter your stops. So if you're wrong, you might not be completely wrong in the trade. So let me walk you right through this. So now the multi-day VWAP is a half number, which is also significant in our world because that's an algorithmic price. Stocks that break through whole numbers or half numbers tend to get more momentum, tend to get more buying. And simultaneously, the opening prints were about at 9:30. We look at the 9:30 high candle, which was $20.52. So now we've got sorry, I'm sorry. It's this one was 2052. So now you've got your 1 minute giving you the support and giving you your trend reversal possibility. You've got your capitulation. You've got your attempt to roll over that didn't roll over. Now you've hovered over the 1 minute. Now you're holding the 1 minute. You're breaking the multi-day. You're also breaking the opening range price and the multi-day VWAP. Buy the stock. So we're buying the stock right here at 20 and a half. And this is what we do. We call it the feeler lot, right? We want to get involved with a, again, a $20 stock. We're basically buying 300 shares. So where's our stop right now? You're going to use, if we're in 300 shares, we got 200 stop at the VWAP, basically this price from right there. So 2022. And then obviously we're never going to let it go back below that price of 2002 where it tested before. So now we know where our out is. Now we just have unlimited possibilities because we might be picking the bottom here. Who knows what this thing's going to do? So fast forward, let's condense this chart a little bit. Next thing you know, we're in from 20 and 2052. And once we get convinced that 2062, now it's breaking the pre-market price. That's when we bought more. And look at the little pop you got there. When it broke that opening range, You got another beautiful move. And there is how you make a living. And then right in that trade right there, if you're buying, again, it didn't have to be 300 shares because for me, I start with 100 or 200. And then when it convinced me that I was right, I add 700 more shares here. Now, again, it would have been awesome if I held all 1,000 shares over the last couple of days. But let's fast forward to what this trade became, right? I'm in from 2052. I'm in at 2062. This thing got all the way up to 21 bucks. Thank you very much. I'm selling 400 shares and I'm taking something off the table now. So now I've got 600 shares left and I'm debating whether or not I want to hang on to it because look at what it formed right here. This little spot where it broke out from now became support.
Yeah.
So because it didn't break down, I was like, all right, let's hang on to it. Do I want to hold 600 shares of some dog shit stock overnight? Probably not. So I sold 300 into the close. So now I'm holding 300 shares overnight. So fast forward into today. We get the stock basically opens up flat. So this is your pre-market. We came in. It starts to sell off, right? And again, now we're going to use the multi-day VWAP as our out because if we're looking at it as a swing trade, you want to give the stock a little bit more room to breathe, right? And that's where the multi-day VWAP's coming into play. So if it would have broke back under 2072, bye-bye, we're selling it. Yeah, we could have made a little bit more money on this trade, but we're going to dump it. But look what it did. It formed a brand new trade. So choppity chop, chop, chop. Next thing you know, here's your 930 candle. There's your 4-minute candle. Again, I like looking at the first 5 minutes. So first they tried to sell it off and it got back above the VWAP. And just like the trade from yesterday, it never rolled over and broke a new low. So now we're feeling bullish again. And it's confirming our belief that we may have hit the bottom yesterday. But the moment of truth was right there as it tried to go back up below the VWAP and starts to break a new high. That's when we're buying more at 2185, 2181, 2182. And then let's go check it out, what it did. And you get a beautiful trend all the way up to 2230. And I'm going to show you something that was pretty awesome because our target was 2269. Now, we go back to where the stock had been coming from. So right here, there was a point where right there, this candle right there, the low print is where I'm looking for it to get to. So the low print of the stock where it broke down from is where I think the stock generally, well, I know that's generally where the stock gets to. So 2269 was our target. Boom, boom, 2269, we got it. Sold basically another, the 800 that we bought because we bought another, again, we came in with 300, but then we bought back the other 700, made the money on that. And again, no reason to sell the whole position because now we've got a confirmed bottom. We got back to that range where it broke down from. So now we're thinking, let's take a look at a 3-day VWAP. Maybe this thing's going to get to the 3-day VWAP. We're way above it. So good. Now let's take a look at a 4-day VWAP. We're above that. Sweet. Let's look at a 5-day VWAP. Oh my God, we're above that too. Maybe we should start looking at a 10-day VWAP. We're above that too. No reason to get out of this trade. So now let's start looking at a monthly VWAP. I think I have it on this chart over here. And let me get it for you. Time frame. Let me move you out of the way. And let's go. And that's what's amazing about this. I have it all set that I could choose whatever time frame I want, and it does the math for me. So now we got a monthly VWAP coming into play that all started with the 1 minute and the 1 day. So now we held it overnight with our target being $23.24. And tomorrow, if we get that same setup, again, we don't take huge overnight positions because, again, you never know what the hell's going to happen. But if tomorrow we get the same confirmation like we did this morning, we'll add 700 more shares back to get to our full 1,000 again. And then we're looking for that stock to get to 23.34. And that's how you take a stock that's been awful and a day trade that turns into a swing trade. And now you usually get, when something bottoms like that, you're looking for 3 candles. I would be really surprised if this stock does not get up to $23.25 tomorrow. And if it doesn't, what are we going to be looking at? We'll be looking at the 1 minute and the 1 or 2 day 3 VWAP to possibly sell out of it. And, again, let's look at the 5 day again. I think it was, if this thing rolls over, I'm not going to let it go all the way back to 21, 22. I'll look at this bottom range where it kind of held yet today. That'll be my stop tomorrow, which is basically the 1 minute VWAP. So we've got a target to the upside and we can know where we're going to sell it. And it takes the emotion right out of the game. So either this trade's going to work and we're going to get paid some more, or we're saying bye-bye and we're looking for another one. And that's it. And, every trade for me is exactly the same. So the only trade that we did was a nice one was PCG. Do you know about PCG?
No, what's that one?
These are the guys that are burning people's houses down in California, and they tried to cover it up. So they're killing people. They're burning your house down, yet the stock was a screaming buy today. Why?
I don't know.
Because it broke the VWAP.
All right. There you go. I should have known that by now.
Right. So look at this 2-day chart. You got a stock here that was a $90 stock at $3 today, yesterday. So there's your trade. Let's look at, I'll stretch this one out for you. Hold on a second. Now this one we didn't hold overnight because it's just way too much risk. It was ripping in the aftermarket, so we traded in the aftermarket, but I'm going to show you the evolution of this again. Stock's getting hammered again, pre-market. Next thing you know, right at the open, you're breaking through the VWAP. So we didn't get a good entry on this one because it broke the VWAP and just took off. So we were just looking for it to break that opening range. So we traded it right around here on this range break right there. And again, that's why my line is there. I leave all my lines on to, because a lot of times those lines that you form, the ranges you formed 2 or 3 days ago, still come into play. So we're above the VWAP. We're above a new range. So we were buying the stock at 409 and again, ripped all the way up to 450. And that's good enough for me. You buy something at 409, a couple of thousand shares. This thing gets to 450. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. And we had one guy top ticket, as a matter of fact. He sold it at 469. And then look what it did. Just gave it all back. Look how it came back to that range, because that's what stocks do. They like to test where they came from. It bounced, but then it rolled through the range, broke back above the VWAP. No more emotions. You're wrong. Get the hell out. That stock tanks back below 405, and then it broke 4, and then rolled over and died all around the VWAP. So because it didn't break back down all the way to 325, we're still thinking, hey, maybe this thing could do the same thing tomorrow. So let's fast forward to what happened today. And what are you seeing here? So there's your 1 minute. And now your multi-day VWAP is going to come into play again. So again, here you are. 1 candle, 2 candle, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's your opening candle, the 930 candle. You go to the high is 437. You're above the VWAP. The shorts don't want to see that. and now you're above the opening high tick. We're buying this thing back at $4.37. And we're using the VWAP as our out. And this time, never even tested it. We had a nice price at 437. Guess what? Started selling it at 415, 465. And then let's fast forward to what happened at the end of the day, because this is where it gets really exciting. This is what we call the kiss back.
Yeah.
Comes back to the VWAP, right? Kisses it right here. And you've got a brand new trade. Because now that you've got this double bottom right above the VWAP, now as it's coming off it, at this moment, you don't know if it's going to break or not. You don't know it's going to break here. Right here, let's get involved. Let's get back involved in this thing at 455 using 438. I'm using a 12 cent. I'm risking 12 cents, but now you want to know how to define risk reward. Your multi-day VWAP is here at $5. So if I'm buying this thing here at I think we got in at about 450 to be exact. Once it got back over 450, I'm looking at the VWAP at 438, and I'm looking at the multi-day VWAP at 5. So what's my risk reward? I'm risking 12 cents to make 50. Why not? Right? If the trade would have rolled over and died, I'm in 1,000 shares, lose 120 bucks. I'm risking 120 bucks to make about 500. And not only did this get to the multi-day VWAP, but look what happened in the aftermarket. Now, again, you had to grow your nuts, because in the aftermarket it's lack of liquidity. But look how it got to the multi-day and got rejected and started to sell off. And then the close, and then suddenly at the close, even at 4 o'clock, it broke the multi-day. Boom, new trade. Look at this thing ripped into the aftermarket from $5 to $5.70. So that's the evolution of what we do here. The 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Phenomenal trade. My dog likes it.
All right, guys. So there we have it. Kenny's just walked us through a couple of trades there. Hopefully, going to give you a great idea. Well, in actual fact, it seems like you can't get any better idea of how you trade the VWAP based on what you've just shown us. So thank you once again for coming on the show. It's been fantastic. We've not just done this video, but we've also done a full podcast as well. It goes for over an hour. So if you want to find the links below the video, you'll be able to jump on there and listen to that. Subscribe to the pod and get the full experience. So thank you very much once again, Kenny. And before we go, what's the best way for the guys to get hold of you?
The Warlock at hitthebid.com is my email. If you want to send an email to info@hitthebid.com. Or just come to the website. I'll give you the password right now. The password is I will pay Kenny.
Nice.
All one word, capital I. So go to hitthebid.com. They'll ask you for your email address and your phone number. Try to be honest about it, because if it's not a real phone number, you get rejected. So put your phone number in. I'm not going to call you unless you want to speak to me eventually, and you probably will want to talk to me. So go to hitthebid.com. Put your info in. The password is I will pay Kenny, all one word with a capital I. And, you'll come and see when you log into the room, you're going to see exactly what I just showed you. You'll hear my voice talking over these charts. And again, I just try to teach by osmosis. The more I show these trades working over and over again, you're going to really want to only do these trades eventually. Because for me, like I said, since 2012, I do nothing else but this.
Brilliant. Well, look, thank you very much once again, Kenny, and we'll see you in the markets.
Yes. Thanks a lot, man. This was great.